Lockdown level 2 means public spaces like restaurants can operate until 10 o'clock so that employees can be home by 11 p.m. This is only 1 hour more than under the previous lockdown. Is this enough to save jobs in the restaurant industry? Well, according to the Restaurant Association of South Africa, a massive 50% of businesses in the sector have been forced to permanently shut its doors. So is level 2 a welcome reprieve, or is it simply not enough? Let's speak to Wendy Alberts, the CEO of the Restaurant Association. Wendy, thanks so much for your time this morning. Let's start off with exactly that question. Is this extra hour enough to save a few more jobs in the restaurant industry?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us. It's a little too late, as you well know. The last 18 months in the restaurant sector has had decimated effects. The inability to properly consult with the industry has unnecessarily cost a lot of jobs and a lot of businesses to close down. Our industry is certainly very frail. It's a little too late, but the 1 hour really makes a massive difference in terms of the whole exponential food chain. So there is benefit to everybody in it. The waiters means that there will be a few more jobs. It means that they will certainly get more tips. It also means that the supply chain will be activated, far more purchases will come in. And generally, it means that the complete mood of the public changes. They've been calling for our restaurants to open, to have more numbers in it, and for us to continue to advocate keeping them safe in our establishments by keeping the social distancing, the protocols, and ensuring that we deliver the best possible experience to them. It's been a very difficult time for our restaurateurs. They try to remain positive throughout every level of lockdown, but sadly for many people, this is not enough, and it's too late for many restaurants to continue to stay open.
Wendy, would you be behind a vaccine passport that government is proposing, or would you even consider getting together as an industry and promoting a vaccine passport for entry into restaurants yourselves?
It's a conversation for a whole nother level that we need to have with government. And they haven't even had conversations with us in the last 18 months about pertinent issues. One, how do we sustain the jobs in the industry? How do we bring more people back to work? How do we keep our skills in the industry? We've lost so much talent. We've lost iconic restaurants all around the landscape of South Africa, beautiful restaurants, international restaurants. We're still trying to get TERS and UIF. We're still trying to have conversations about the TERS. Where is the payment? We're trying to have conversations about debt relief, compensation. We're trying to have conversations about the data that they've accumulated. And I think government has a responsibility to revert back to us on statistics, on reprieve, on compensation, on sustainability, on what the future plan is, and what guarantee they're going to give us. We're not going to do the job of government any longer. Government also now needs to engage with us in a functional conversation and a relationship that is both beneficial to the sustainability of what's left on the industry. 50% of our industry is close to decimation. So many restaurant doors are closing. So many beautiful people have lost their jobs. And to resuscitate the industry at this very late point in time is so difficult. And we're hoping that government will really hear what we have to say. And we hope that the next few weeks will bring that reprieve after the 2-week consultation that we're hoping to get with government to reopen the industry with further restrictions.
When you try and engage with government, what kind of response do you get? And are you saying that in the next 2 weeks you should have some kind of dialogue with them?
One of the things that we've remained is very faithful to our businesses. We've continued to advocate to government that we're an eloquent industry. We are here, we are dignified, we are not rogue operators. We are here to work with government in a compliance. Health and safety of our patrons is the highest priority for us. It's always been, as that of our staff. We don't want to operate outside of what government is expecting us to do, but talk to us, give us the respect we deserve. We contribute to the GDP. We are one of the highest employers in the industry to create jobs. We have been working really hard with government over the last years to create jobs, to bring sustainability, and to bring a sense of pride into our industry by the skills that we brought in. And as we look at what has happened over the last 18 months, there's been a complete disregard for our industry. They're not talking to us. And in particular, the last 6 weeks, before the cabinet shift, we had an excellent relationship with Minister Mamaloko. She was very passionate about our industry. She took the time to engage with us, to have conversations, to understand the business model. And if you look at just the inconsistencies over the last sort of 6-7 months, we can see, that we had much lighter restrictions when the numbers were greater, when we were moving into the Easter season than what we were in the last few weeks. To wait 6 weeks for 1 extra hour, which could have saved so many more restaurants, is absolutely inadequate. And it's failed on government's part to talk to the industry. And we need to have an introduction to the Department of Tourism. They need to consult with our industry, be part of that ministerial division. They need to respect the industry, and they need to take care of the industry. You know, we're knocking on every single door, from finance through to labor to banking to all sorts of elements, just to try and get reprieve. And we need a minister to take the restaurant industry under their arms and to really nurture the industry, to look at a resuscitation plan and a rebuilding plan. Otherwise, we're going to land up with a complete decimated industry.
Wendy, very quickly before you go, what would you like the President to have said last night as we hurtle towards December and the holiday season?
Look, we certainly don't want to be under any more threats. I mean, the insecurities of the constant threats and the threat of further lockdowns has massive impact on our emotional state to run our businesses. It's been such a difficult time to run our businesses, you know, from being passionate, beautiful people who create beautiful moments in food. We are drowning in administration, drowning in debt, and we're drowning in legal letters and demands from all sorts of suppliers wanting their cut of pay. And we certainly are not in a position to be able to do that. The next hour, like I said, is so welcoming. I commend our restaurateurs for their positivity and for their resilience in trying to just keep their heads forward and keeping their doors open. I would love to see debt reprieve for us and to see debt deferment, and for us to be in a position where there is some cash flow that comes in to survive the businesses. I cannot stress how important and imperative it is to us to get the TERS money paid to our staff. We have got almost 70% of our staff on unpaid layoffs, and they deserve the money that they've contributed to those funds to be paid out. Right. I'm also hoping that within the 2 weeks we will get a further lift to midnight, at least on the curfew, like we had in the April months.
Well, certainly let's hope those TERS issues get sorted out and that you do get some sort of engagement or meeting with government at least. That was Wendy Alberts, the CEO of the Restaurant Association of South Africa.